What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's doing good. Welcome back to the channel. We got a little bit of a project today going on. Gonna touch base on some stuff. Oh, I got lots going on. Crazy life. You know, the usual. But doing good. Doing good. Got some bad news to the family. Family member, but he's doing alright. So, it's all good, you know. All normal stuff. But anyway, let's get into our little project here. Alright? What we're doing today is a little assembly of Mr. NickPixel's 1010. Alright? Y'all excited? Ready to do this? Alright, let's do it. After my drink. Because it's very warm in here. And I'm dying. Alright. Sorry about that, folks. Alright, let's do it. Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at all that. Exciting stuff. Yes. Alright, I'm going to try not to get this too long now. So, this has been sitting around. It's probably still a little early, but we're going to be very careful with it. Turned out very nice. I'm very happy with it. Very pleased. So we have our intake there. Exhaust. Had everything all marked off. Taped off. I went through and already cleaned everything out. Now, when you paint something, you don't want to use a chemical to clean out unless it's safe for paint. Now here's a little quick tip. Wax and grease remover. You've probably heard me say it a million times. I'm going to say it a million times more because this stuff is amazing. Wax and grease remover will remove just about anything except for paint. It's safe for paint. That's why we use it in the auto body industry. Okay? Got it all dirty now. Got fingerprints all over it. But that's alright. We'll clean it up once we're done. So, it's all ported, cleaned, waxed and greased, everything around there. Cleaned it all up. It's really good. It's ready to rock and roll. And I am missing one thing on my table here. Got everything but one thing. Now, I don't know how diverse this gets, but this is my thing, okay? I don't care what you use as long as it works, okay? What I like to use, it's called Right Stuff. Okay, it's a black gasket remover, 90-minute gasket remover. Now, 90 minutes, this means that you can cure. It's cured. It's ready to go. You can use whatever you applied it to in 90 minutes. They have a faster one. That's I think they have a 1-minute one. They have a one that returns right to service and all that jazz. Okay, so we got our spread out here. Now, we do have some of the old stuff on here, like the old crank seals, okay? In a complete rebuild, or any rebuild, I replace these. They're cheap enough to do so. So guess what? We're replacing that. Same with the other side. Replacing that. Gone. Junk. On this one, the bearing seems alright. I'm not too worried about the bearing, but I'm going to keep it around just in case. I do have a new one. And believe it or not, I found a new old stock. And I was kind of playing around with it a little bit. Okay, the grease it's okay. It's a little stiff, but it's good. But more it moves, the easier it gets. So I'm okay with that. So guess what? We're replacing that. Alright, so we're replacing new bearing. New crank bearing. This one, the bigger one, is perfect. Nothing wrong with it. I see no issues with it. We have our new bearings here. Our new crank seals. Inside, this is another little tip. This is what I do. And not necessarily it's right or wrong, but this is what I do. Okay, before I put these on, well, you do want to make sure it's the right one. So you check with the old one, make sure it's the right one. So I'm just gonna kind of compare here. Look, yep, they are the same size. They have the same number. Okay, and go back on the ground. Yeah, I already did that to the other one, so I'm not too worried about that. It's just a little different right here, but it's the same. Inside these, I'll give my little pointer. I don't know if the camera will pop. The camera won't show it. Because this side of the camera, it does not focus as well. Oh, you kind of see it right there. So right in here is a little groove in every little crank seal. There is a little groove right in here, okay? Now with that, I need to get a new can of this. You want to put a little bit of grease in that little groove, because that part is what's on the crank. It presses, kind of seals it against the crank. And you want to put a little lube there, because lubrication, and this is being rubber, it will burn up. Plus, you want to put something on somewhere. You could put oil in here. Grease is a little more stable, so that's why I use that. And I'll pack it. And if you get too much, guess what? After you put it on, you can wipe it down. No big deal. But anyway, we're just going to do this. Just little things that you need to do before putting it all together. So you can see the color match is pretty close. This one's a little on the lighter side on the cylinder, but hey, that's okay. It's close enough to where you're not gonna know it unless I told you. And I just did. Alright, so we got a little bit of grease on there. This is nice tight squeeze on there. I love it. So I got a little bit of grease on there. No big deal. We can wipe it off. I already put the rings on the piston. That's all pressed in. Everything's all good. So we got to do the other one. I like to use my little tuning my little tuning screwdriver. There you go. Man, a little lost for words tonight. It's nice and flat. It's small. I get a little bit of grease on the end, and I'm able to pack it in there. I'm trying not to pack it with air bubbles. Okay, you don't want air bubbles because that's a void. You want grease all the way around that thing. Got a little void here. I'm going to take that. I'm a little on the tired side today. Just got done hauling a bunch of wood. Got another load of wood. Alright. And boop. There we go. Little key, little note. That key right here, take that out. it, you can tend to screw things up with that in it when putting on a bearing or on a seal on there. Luckily, that one went right over it. I seen it and I kind of angled it so it wouldn't screw nothing up. Alright, so everything is nice and tight, got lubed up. New bearings, everything. We're good to go. I am going to grab this. Now, one thing I should have got on camera, which I didn't, and I'm kind of beating myself up over a little bit. I should have showed you how to do the gaskets. I made up little gaskets that connect the bottom of the crank to the cylinder or jug, whatever you want to call it. And I regrettably did not get that on camera, so I apologize. Alright, so that's how we set up our crank, replacing our crank. Okay, and so we got a new piston, we got new piston bearings that are in there. Okay, that's the bigger part there. I'll get my little pointer. So that right there is the crank bearing. And then in the middle is the wrist pin. So we're all good. And then we got our rings on there. Those are good. And I never did take off yeah, that thing. The arm. Jeez, I am totally lost for words. So, folks, that's how you set up your crank, replacing all the old stuff with the new. I'm sure eventually down the line we're gonna be replacing the bigger end of the crank bearing, and I will show you all how to do that. Unfortunately, that one takes a press, so if you need that done, you need a press. I have a 20-ton press over there, which I use. Well, it's not really mine, but it's here for my use. Alright, folks, so yeah, that's how you set that up, and then everything goes right in like that. Perfect. Everything fits just right. Alright, so this won't sit down all the way. So there will be a little bit of a gap right here. But once you put the two together, this metal plate on the seal kind of crushes, so to speak, and crimps down into between this jug and the bottom of the crank. Jug, cylinder, whatever you call it. There's so many names for different stuff. Alright, so that's that. I mean, this, I won't set this down just yet. See, it already kind of presses right in there. I like to put a little bead of Right Stuff, which is a gasket maker. This is good stuff. This works very well. We use this on all our high performance stuff at work. I just like to put a light bead in there and spread it around with my finger. That kind of, I don't want to do it there yet. I don't want to put it there because some of that is the bearing. Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt. The bearing won't move, so it really doesn't hurt. So, yes, we use all this on the high performance stuff. So, it handles temperatures up to 500 degrees. And you don't want a whole lot on here because it does squish out. You have a lot of pressure. This is really not necessary per se, but it is very good practice to do so. So we don't want none of this going into the crankcase. So a lot of times I like to not wipe or not get any on this inside edge. It will squish out. Plus you got all the other holes. So anyway, folks, that's that video for today. More to come because I'm going to continue filming and I'll get those out to you. So, yeah, that's how you prep your cylinder or your crank and seals, bearings, and all that for your Mac. Ta-da! So that all sits in there. Alright, folks. That's that. Y'all be good. Be kind. Please spread the love. Alright. I'll see you on the next one. Let's do it.